Archaeologists made an incredible discovery. They found the zodiac symbols in the tomb of the ancient Egyptians. I will show you how the signs of the zodiac decorated temples in ancient times, how scientists were able to cook a meatball from the meat of an ancient mammoth, and I will tell you about the secrets of a golden tomb found in Armenia. Ready to learn something new and interesting? Then watch this video till the end. Hi friend, you're on the KirTop channel. Zodiac signs in ancient Egypt. Experts from the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, together with archaeologists from the German University of Tübingen, were working on the restoration of the Asnat Temple and found zodiac signs on its ceiling. The temple is about 2,200 years old, and for a long time, the paintings were hidden under a thick layer of dirt, soot, and bird manure. The ancient city of Asna is located in southern Egypt and was one of the centers of Coptic Christianity. The ancient city was called Letopolis, and the Temple of Asna, also known as the Temple of Khnum, was built here 2,000 years ago. The temple was dedicated to the Egyptian god creator and keeper of fertility. The researchers found on the ceiling of the temple images of the zodiac signs, planets, stars, and constellations on a pale blue background, symbolizing the sky. Such drawings in Egyptian temples are rare and unique, since the system of zodiac signs came to Egypt from Babylon thanks to the Greeks. In addition to the signs of the zodiac, archaeologists found drawings of hybrid creatures in the temple, such as ram-headed snakes, dog-headed birds with four wings, snake man, and many other strange snake-like creatures. The restoration made the reliefs brighter and more distinct, but the work is still ongoing. Large Neolithic settlement in Germany. Archaeological excavations in the city of Dobeln, located in the state of Saxony in Germany, led to the discovery of a large settlement of the early Neolithic. The excavation began in October last year, when construction of an amusement park was scheduled to begin on the site. As a result of the work of a group of 18 archaeologists, a settlement was discovered where dozens of houses stood 7,000 years ago. The 10-hectare site contains many pits for poles, allowing professionals to reconstruct floor plans. The largest house that was discovered was 30 meters long and 8 meters wide. Currently, archaeologists continue excavations and have already found several thousand artifacts, including pottery shards, flint tools, as well as fragments of clay figurines and idols. Scientists prepared meatballs from mammoth meat. Artificial meat company Vao has recreated a prehistoric mammoth meatball. The meat was derived from available DNA and from an elephant, the closest living relative of the mammoth. As a result, the meat was grown from 20 billion cells and turned into minced meat. This is a unique product created from cells of non-traditional species. Although scientists think that meat could be tasty, they are afraid to eat it, fearing that the ancient protein will be deadly. The mammoth meat farming project took a couple of weeks. Vao originally planned to recreate dodo meat, but did not find a suitable DNA sequence. The main goal of the company is to demonstrate the potential of biotechnology in artificial meat as an alternative to animal slaughter. According to the company, large-scale slaughter of animals is one of the causes of global warming. The environmental impact of cultured meat production will be substantially lower than that of traditional meat production. When growing artificial meat, 745% less resources are involved. Some companies such as Good Meat and Upside Foods are already approved in the US. Good Meat Farm chicken is also sold in shops in Singapore. The mystery of the man of Altamura. In southern Italy, near the city of Altamura, an amazing event took place. The man fell into a crevice and fell from a height of 15 meters onto a pile of washed-out earth and animal remains. He survived, but suffered severe injuries, including a broken arm and a damaged shoulder blade. The man was locked in a cave where he tried to find a way out, but in the end he became exhausted and sat in a far corner. Speleologists found him there in 1993, but unfortunately, help came too late, after about 150,000 years. The bones of a man were imprisoned in a stone trap in the outgrowth of a stalagmite, and so far it has not been possible to extract them without damage. Disputes arose immediately after the discovery regarding the dating and species of this person. Some considered him the first archaic Homo sapiens in Europe, others saw him as a transitional link between the Heidelberg man and the Neanderthal. Ultimately, most anthropologists identified him as a classic Neanderthal. In 2015, scientists conducted uranium-thorium dating of calcite on bones and found that calcite formed between 187,000 and 128,000 years ago. DNA fragments were also found that fit into the range of genetic variability of the Neanderthals of Europe. This finally put an end to the debate about the species identity of the man from Altamura. He turned out to be a Neanderthal, and his skeleton became the best preserved Neanderthal skeleton in Europe. Today, scientists are working on a method for extracting a find from a stone trap without the risk of damaging it. In 2016, a reconstruction of the appearance of the Altamura man was created based on a laser scan of the skull. The uniqueness of the find lies not only in the amazing preservation of the skeleton, but also in the fact that this is the first complete Neanderthal found in Italy. This is of great importance for understanding the spread of Neanderthals across Europe and their migration routes. Studying the bones of Altamura man reveals a lot about the life and way of thinking of Neanderthals. For example, scientists found that he had a broken shoulder blade, which may indicate that he was involved in a fight or clash with other people. In addition, cavers noticed that the Neanderthal's arms and legs were unusually long and strong, indicating that he was adapted to hard physical work and life in harsh environments. Village where Egyptian tomb builders lived. Near the popular Valley of the Kings, where the ancient Egyptian rulers found peace, there is a lesser-known location, the village of Deir el-Medina. This is the place where the builders lived who for decades created the tombs, including the tomb of Tutankhamun and about 100 other tombs. They also carried out the maintenance of the same tombs. The ruins of Deir el-Medina are located on the other side of the Nile opposite Luxor, and for 3 millennia no one has lived in this settlement. The village became famous in the early 20th century, and interest in Deir el-Medina increased after Tutankhamun's tomb was found by Howard Carter. Two Egyptologists, the Frenchman Bernard Briere and his student Jaroslav Cherny from the Czech Republic, created a detailed report on life in Deir el-Medina, which covers about 400 years. This is how long the village existed. Deir el-Medina was abandoned in the 11th century BC due to the looting of the tombs of the pharaohs, the reduction in food supplies, and the instability of life. But thanks to these ruins hidden in the sands, scientists have been able to describe the life of the working class of ancient Egypt. In its best times, the settlement consisted of 68 brick houses standing on a stone foundation. The houses were painted white and the windows in each dwelling were built high to reduce the amount of sun that entered the house. Usually in such a building, there were 5 rooms, and in terms of area, it occupied about 70 square meters. It is believed that the village was built specifically at a distance from other settlements in order to keep the skill of building tombs a secret. As already mentioned, the main occupation of the inhabitants of Deir el-Medina was the construction of tombs for the pharaohs and their loved ones. In addition, they were engaged in other crafts such as making jewelry, household items, clothing, etc. Artisans were organized into guilds, which were involved in setting the rules and norms of production, as well as resolving disputes between craftsmen. Statue of the powerful pharaoh of ancient Egypt. During excavations at the Materia Temple of the Sun in Heliopolis, archaeologists discovered several statues, including a sculpture of Ramesses II, the powerful ruler of ancient Egypt. The temple was founded by Ramesses II, so its pedestal was immediately found in the temple. In addition, statues of other pharaohs such as Ramesses IX, Horemheb, and Psammethicus II have been found. Archaeologists have also discovered a sculpture of a pharaoh whose identification has yet to be made. This statue has been dated to about 4,000 years ago. The Sun Temples were built between 1550 and 1070 BC and were dedicated to the god Ra. In ancient times, people believed that the sculptures of gods and goddesses, as well as the pedestals of the pharaohs, were vessels of supernatural power. They were ordered by kings and pharaohs and were considered the earthy incarnation of the god Ra and were responsible for the maintenance of the sanctuaries. Ancient ziggurat, 5,000 years old. Sialk is an archaeological site located on the territory of the city of Kashan in Iran. Previously, locals considered it a cursed city and tried to avoid it. However, a severe flood that occurred in 1930 helped reveal the history of the hills beginning around the 3rd millennium BC. The building itself is a ziggurat, a stepped religious building in the ancient Mesopotamia made mainly of clay. Ziggurats were the first centers of science in the history of mankind, where the priests observed the heavenly bodies and the life of the universe. It is believed that the oldest ziggurat is located in the suburbs of the city of Kashan in central Iran and was built around the 3rd millennium BC. After the flood in 1930, a group of researchers led by French archaeologists of Ukrainian origin Roman Gershman went to excavate in Iran. The results of their labors did not attract the attention of the then authorities until 2001. Researcher Gershman estimates that this ancient civilization is over 10,000 years old. The structure is in poor condition, like many other ancient ruins in Iran. Sialk was built by Elam, one of the most ancient civilizations in history, located in the southwest of Iran. Elam built 4 ziggurats, including Sialk. During the excavations, various artifacts were found, including ceramics, glass, metal objects, jewelry, and coins, which testified to the richness and diversity of the ancient culture of Sialk. Ancient texts were also found in the Elamite language, which was common in the region for several millennia BC. One of the most interesting artifacts found at Sialk is a cast image of the goddess Nana, which is thought to date from the 3rd to 2nd millennium BC. Nana was the goddess of fertility and motherhood, and her cult was widespread in ancient Mesopotamia and Iran. In addition, a large collection of stone sculptures was found in Sialk, which represent images of animals, people, and gods. They were made in various styles and techniques, which testifies to the richness and diversity of the artistic culture of ancient Iran. Golden Tomb in Armenia. The archaeological find Golden Tomb in Matamor, Armenia, is striking in its uniqueness. In the tomb were found the remains of presumably a husband and wife, as well as gold necklaces, beads, pendants, and ceramic vessels. It is surprising that the tomb has not been robbed for centuries. Matamor is an ancient settlement in the Armenian highlands where the oldest gold jewelry in Armenia was found. The necklaces date back to the reign of Ramesses II in Egypt, testifying to the cultural influence of that era. The death of the inhabitants of the tomb remains a mystery, and scientists plan to conduct additional research. Archaeologists will continue to work in Matamor to find more artifacts and uncover the secrets of the ancient city and its inhabitants. Perhaps the death of spouses is associated with religious or ritual customs. The study and preservation of archaeological finds help us understand our history and shed light on the customs of our ancestors. This is important for the preservation of the cultural heritage of the people of the world. In general, the discovery of the Golden Tomb in Matamor is of great importance for archaeology and history. The jewelry and artifacts found testify to the craftsmanship and cultural diversity of that era. Additional research may help solve the mystery of the death of a married couple and reveal more secrets about the ancient city and its inhabitants. 2,000 sheep heads. An archaeological mission led by York University was excavating the Temple of Ramses II in Abydos, Egypt, where 2,000 ram heads dating back to the Ptolemaic period were found. In addition, the team found the remains of various animals such as sheep, wild goats, dogs, cows, gazelles, and mongooses in a room of the temple complex, which were believed to be sacrifices in honor of Ramses II 1,000 years after his death. Abydos is one of the most ancient cities of Upper Egypt, with a history that goes back to the first pre-dynastic period, that is, until the middle of the 4th millennium BC. The city is located on the left western bank of the Nile and was the site of many ancient temples, including el-Kab, the royal necropolis where early pharaohs rest, and the Temple of Seti I, containing an inscription known as the Abydos King List, a timeline of the dynastic pharaohs of ancient Egypt from Menes to Seti I's father, Ramses I. During the 19th dynasty, Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, built a temple complex dedicated mainly to Osiris and Seti I. Ramses II is considered one of the most famous pharaohs of the New Kingdom, which was itself the most powerful period of ancient Egypt. The temple was decorated with several achievements from his reign, including scenes from the Battle of Kadesh. Statue of Venus in an ancient dump. In France, at a Roman-era garbage dump located in the city of Rennes, in the northwest of the country, artifacts were found, among which were figurines of the goddess Venus, a pottery, coins, and pins for cloth. The city of Rennes was founded by the Romans in the 1st century AD, and there was a quarry where the Romans mined building material. Later, the quarry was repurposed into landfill, where many artifacts up to 1,800 years old were found. One of the statuettes depicts Venus the progenitor with a torso draped with cloth, and the other statuette is Venus Anendiomen. The goddess is naked and with her right hand squeezes water out of her hair. Venus became associated with emperors and was often a symbol of Roman power. The scientists also discovered a 17th century underground water pipe that supplied Rennes with water. Further excavations will reveal more about the mining methods and management of the site during the Gallo-Roman period. And to learn more about the new finds of archaeologists and the ancient world, subscribe to our channel and write kind comments under the video. It helps in the development of the channel. Thanks for your views, bye everyone!